The Xenomorph is no longer the scariest creature in the entire Alien franchise. No, that throne has been taken, ladies and gentlemen, by another creature that intercepts your brain by replacing one of your eyeballs and controlling you with its tentacles. It's always the ones with the tentacles, y'all. T. Ocellus, the new alien from Alien Earth. What does it really want, and what is it truly? Well, the real answer might be weirder than you think. I never thought the Xenomorph was the scariest creature in the entirety of the Alien franchise. Alright? I can't be the only one, y'all. I find this creature more cool than scary. I find the trilobite from Prometheus scarier. Look at this fucking thing. Do you want this anywhere near you? I find the Neomorph scarier because it's got a faster life cycle and is a more ferocious version, violent version of the Xenomorph. But now that Alien Earth has come out, we got 5 new specimens on board a ship that crashed into Prodigy City. The creature I'm about to bring up is one of them. You see, the Xenomorph just got soloed by this girl, Wendy. You lost all your aura points, my friend. All of them. But this guy? Holy fuck. I had to put one lens back onto one of my eyes just so I could cover it, so I don't have to see this shit. This creature is the one of the most disgusting alien parasites I've ever seen in my life, alright? T. Ocellus is an alien parasite. Let's get that out of the way first. Anything that looks like this and tries to get inside of you is a parasite, but what's the function of this particular parasite? That's something we have to answer in this video, alright? Why does it want to be inside of your brain? Why does it want to control a person? We've seen it hop from one creature to one creature. It controlled a cat. We saw it latch onto a cat, replacing it one of its eyeballs, and then trying to latch onto another synthetic. It doesn't distinguish between organic and inorganic. We're about to get to that. Then we see it thrown into a cage with this poor goat / sheep, whatever the hell it is. This poor goat. I would rather have Iris West from The Flash lecture me every day for the rest of my life than be stuck in a room alone with this motherfucker right here. I would rather get my balls whipped by Le Chiffre, Casino Royale style, than get stuck in a room with that motherfucker. Alright? I'd rather be killed by a Xenomorph or face hugged and get impregnated and chest burst than be stuck in a room with this creature. When this creature does what it does, it is one of the most scary scenes in the entirety of Alien. It's the scariest scene in Alien Earth so far. But one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in the entire Alien franchise. And the worst part about it is what it does after it gets inside the goat and possesses it. I thought it would start ramming against the cage trying to break out, and maybe break out as a result, but no. It waits and observes. It looks at everyone. This creature's smart, y'all. It's smart. It's not just a fucking feral animal. It has high intelligence. We already know this. But can it speak through the host? Can it literally control a host and get to the point where it can manipulate its language? Once it's done that, you're done. If it can make itself less noticeable and blend in more, you're done. Only question then is, what's the goal? What does it really want? We already know it has near human problem solving skills. We've seen that on the data reports when they were studying this creature on the ship, the Maggonaut. So it's smart as fuck. And like I said before, it does not distinguish between organic and inorganic. It'll attack you unbiased of whether you're a synthetic or a human. It attacked this redheaded chick, who's a synthetic, and still try to get into his eyeballs. Now the ultimate question is, could it get inside of her and control her? She's a synthetic. She doesn't work the same way that humans do organics. But she has a system that controls her motor functions. Could it control her? I don't know. But all I do know is it's given her the craziest form of PTSD I've ever seen. She's been traumatized by this creature to the point where she thinks she's pregnant. What the fuck? That's the level of being we're talking about. He traumatized the synthetic so badly. Maybe it has abilities we don't know of. Maybe it can still affect your mind even without getting to you fully. As long as it makes contact with you with its membranes, maybe it has some kind of chemical imbalance within the brain. I don't know. But all we know is this chick is losing her fucking mind ever since she had her encounter with it. And then the real question, what does it truly want? What's the point of hopping from host to host? Every parasite has a point, right? They want to survive and reproduce, ideally. They achieve by exploiting a host for nutrients, shelter, and transmission to new hosts. They rely on another living being. We know this. They need resources to grow and multiply, often in a way that fucks over the host. Now, the way this one fucks over the host is rips out the eyeball and takes control of them. Alright? It takes control of you fully until it gets out of you and you're dead at that point, right? But what does it want beyond hopping? Does it reproduce? Are we going to see an army of these tentacle creatures, or is there something else? I think that there's a reason for it going into specific hosts. I don't think it wants to reproduce. I could be very wrong, and just this whole video could be blown apart by the next episode of the show, but you see, it hops from host to survive, but the end goal, what is it, a perfect host? Is this creature looking for the most dynamite host? Not only one that is fiercely strong and durable, but is smart as well. Could it be looking for a woman like Wendy? Again, I don't even know if an inorganic synthetic like her would even work with this creature. Does it want the perfect organism? And the Xenomorph? I don't think that it could. I don't think this creature can actually match with the Xenomorph at all. I think the Xenomorph is actually the perfect thing to be immune to this, because it doesn't have eyes within its eye sockets underneath the head, and it has acid for blood. There's no way this creature could literally get inside of it. It'll die in the process. I think Teocellus feeds on intelligence. I think it gets smarter as it goes from host to host. I think the reason it went from that cat and latched onto the synthetic was because it knew it was dealing with a higher IQ being and wanted inside. Which means neither inorganics or organics are safe. They all have intelligence, and it wants to feed on them. Now, whether it could feed on inorganic intelligence, we have yet to see. And then there's a case of why it looks the way it does. Why an eyeball? It had to evolve on a planet that had similar animals to the ones we have on Earth that have eyeballs that are shaped like that, right? That's how it was able to manifest it and go inside of them. That only makes sense. I can believe that. And of all the creatures on that planet, it was after the highest IQ ones. Oh, is there a goat that looks like it's smart? Let me go in that. Oh, a salamander that looks like it's smart? Oh, let me go in that. Oh, none of these are working out for me. They're all dumb, low-tier animals. Okay, I want to continuously go to the one that gives me the most nutrients. That's the largest. Larger than the other ones because I get more nutrients to feed, and maybe it gets bigger. Who knows? Maybe its tentacles get bigger as a result. But I want one that's smart. I want a smart motherfucker. That could be what we're dealing with here, folks. That means nobody's safe. Wendy's the smartest, arguably, in the entire show. She works at a higher level than any of the other synthetics. Imagine if Teocellus gets a hold of her. The entire world is fucked, yo. If Teocellus gets a hold of someone as powerful as Wendy, this creature could be virtually unstoppable, especially if it's gained a lot of intelligence before that point. That's what you gotta think to yourself. Now, there's another theory that suggests that maybe the Xenomorph and Teocellus come from the same world. Maybe the home world is the same. Or maybe they were together in a world long enough for them both to evolve as a result of coexisting with each other. The Xenomorph has evolved in such a specific way. The way it's designed. The way it has eye sockets but there's no eyeballs. The way it has acid for blood. Maybe it evolved. There's a theory that maybe suggests that maybe it evolved to be durable enough to withstand parasites like Teocellus. Maybe there was a lot of parasites like Teocellus, and the Xenomorph, if we're completely discounting the David and Prometheus storyline where David created them, these Xenomorphs that have existed since ancient times, who knows how they were created, these Xenomorphs and the Teocellus are old beings that lived in the same planet, and the Teocellus started killing off various members of the unevolved Xenomorphs, the first prototypes, while dominating most of the other species. And then the Xenomorphs adapted over time to be immune to the effects of the parasite. Think about it. Acid blood, no eyeballs, that's like a surefire way to make sure you survive an epidemic of these Teocellus. Fucking dumb tentacle creatures, right? That's just a theory. I think it's if there's a reveal that says they're both originate from the same homeworld, I wouldn't even be surprised, y'all. Because it makes too much sense. It just makes sense that Teocellus birthed the features of the Xenomorph via evolution and natural selection and all that shit, right? So that makes Teocellus even more frightening. The Xenomorph became as perfect as it is as a result of coming across the Teocellus. That means that Teocellus was a demon in its past. It was fucking its way through everyone. It's just a theory. I think Teocellus is scarier than the Xenomorph. I think you don't even need that many scenes with Teocellus to prove that. All you need is one scene of it trying to go into a fucking goat's eyeball and ripping it out. Then you're like, yeah, that's scary. I don't want that thing anywhere near me. If I found out that fucking thing was in my room, I'd set myself on fire. The Xenomorph I can handle. Scary as fuck. Strong as fuck. But man, it's the tentacle ones, yo. Those are the ones you don't want to fuck with. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.